Obviously, taxes at that point were a mainstay for me. They were a big portion of my income. They were a big portion of my client base. As times went on, obviously I've moved into more holistic financial planning and done some different things. And you always have to be adapting and changing, in my opinion, to make sure that you're servicing your client in the proper manner. So obviously the long-term goal for me is to
The Mark Bigg Show.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Mark Bigg Show. Super excited you're here today. Just going to go through a couple different things today, talking about, we've talked in the past about, pivoting as business owners, as leaders, as, fathers and men in general, but just a couple things about what's going on in my life business-wise and things that we're trying to shift and change, and some of the lessons that I've been trying to teach the guys in the office that have served me as I've learned them the hard way, that hopefully they can kind of not step on the landmines that I've stepped on as time has went on. So before we dive in, I just want to say thank you for being here. And if you would just like, share, and subscribe wherever you listen to this podcast at. It really means a lot to me that you're even here. Number one, hope you're gaining some info, some knowledge, something that's useful for you. That's the whole point of this thing. So hopefully you're gaining something from it and continue to come back and see what you can pull from it. So just here to add value best I can with my experiences, my past, and all the things that we're looking forward to in the future. So big thing with our firm is that when we look at our firm as a whole, a lot of people think tax first. They're tax preparers or tax accountants. And one of the things that I've wanted to shift for some time now, I've been on my own for 5 years this November, is the fact that we're financial advisors first and then tax folks second. So that's been a hard thing to do because coming from the business that I came from before, they're kind of known for the same thing. So it's tax preparation first, and then they do investments as well. And so when I went out on my own, obviously taxes at that point were a mainstay for me. They were a big portion of my income. They were a big portion of my client base. As times went on, obviously I've moved into more holistic financial planning and done some different things and partnered with some different investment groups, all those types of things. So obviously the long-term goal for me is to be a financial advisor. I don't want to say only, but more exclusively. And one of the things being a concierge-based firm is that we can offer tax preparation services to our investment clients as part of their package that they get for the fees that they pay, et cetera, et cetera. So anyways, it's been a journey trying to figure out, the landscape of that, because fortunately have a lot of tax clients that as time goes on, I want them to stay in the firm. However, they don't necessarily have to see me, have to work with me, but that's the hard part, right? Because I've built relationships with these people over the years. They've supported me and my family and my business as times went on, as I went out on my own and they didn't have to. One of the things in client services that I think a lot of people get lost in, whether it's financial based or not, any type of client services business, people have to understand you don't own your clients. Your clients have options. The marketplace in today's world is ever changing. There's more and more people doing more and more things. There's online, tools and softwares. There's virtual-based services and softwares that people can utilize for different services. And so you always have to be adapting and changing, in my opinion, to make sure that you're servicing your client in the proper manner, right? And so going forward, that's one of the things that I feel like as a financial advisor, people always say, well, what about these robo-advisors? And, I can just go online and do this and that. And that's true. And so from an advisor standpoint, you have to really make sure that you're continuing to add value and show the level of service that you can provide to your clients, number one, but it's also got to come out in the dollars and cents, right? If they can pay less fees and make the same money, why would they not, right? And so you can't just rely on the old-fashioned, well, everyone likes to come in and have a handshake and sit down and meet, because I think as time goes on, that's going to continue to change as well. We live in, a southern town, small town, so to speak, so that's always going to mean something, and I don't downplay that whatsoever. But at the same time, you can't just rely on that as to why people would continue to use your service. So you have to continually be evolving and changing, and that's what I've been trying to do for the last couple of years. We've partnered with a wonderful investment partner, Kinetic Investment Management, a group that is our broker-dealer, so to speak, and helps us on the investment side, on the insurance side, and really has been a huge support system for our business, our marketing efforts, our live events, all those things. They've been just a phenomenal partner to work with. And what it's done is it's really opened our eyes to kind of some, flaws in the industry that other advisors and other firms can't offer, don't offer, won't offer. And so we've really been working hard to try and package things to our clients that they can't get elsewhere in the marketplace, to try to differentiate that, to try to continue to drive business and drive new relationships. So as time goes on, I'm going to continue to do less and less tax work just because this is where my efforts are going to be focused long term. Part of that's a personal reason because, when I first started the business in 2020, going into 2021, tax season, January through April. That year, being the first one on my own, I was the only person in the office that did tax returns. And so everybody that showed up, fortunate enough for me, I had plenty of clients show up, both new and old, from my old firm that, were there to support me, allow me to, do the work for them, support my business, support my family. But it was all on me. There's a lot of midnight nights throughout that tax season. Midnight turnaround to an 8 o'clock appointment the next morning over the course of 100 days in a row with no days off. It's stressful. So the point is, fortunate to have the work, grateful for the work. But as time goes on, I don't want to burn out because I want to be able to offer these services to these clients for the next 30 years. And it got to a point in my head where I was like, well, if I continue to operate in this exact manner, I'm going to burn out by the time I'm 40. And that does me a disservice because I'm going to be, miserable coming to work every day. Does my clients a disservice because I'm not going to be able to uphold the level of service that I'm used to and that they're used to on the receiving end as my client. So as time goes on, I'm going to continue to cut and do less and less tax work as we're growing the financial advising side. So that comes with a lot of change. That comes with a lot of adapting and evolving to different softwares, different schedules, this, that, and the other. So one of the things that just transparently as a person in general, but especially as a business owner, I struggle with change. And so I think that comes from a couple things. When I was playing baseball, I had a routine that was just to a T every single day. If I was live to pitch that night and eligible to pitch, almost from about 10 o'clock in the morning all the way to game time, through when I was getting ready to go into the game, was about the same thing every day. I was a creature of habit. I put my pants on the same way. I put my socks on the same way, in the same order. Did the same stuff with the trainers, with the strength and conditioning coaches before every game. My routine was down to a science. I mean, within a few minutes on the daily, as long as the game was a night game. But I've always struggled with change. And so as these things have gone on, I sit there and look at myself in the mirror and I'm like, I'm advising these people to do this and that to better their lives. But am I taking those actions myself to change and do the things that's going to benefit me, my business, my family, my clients, all those things as time goes on? So long story short, we're going to continue to evolve on the marketing side we're doing more live events. We're trying to garner new investment business as time goes on. And I think eventually within the next couple of years, 5 years, maybe even, my goal is that Biggs Financial is known as a financial advising firm first in the public's eye, but they also prepare tax returns and their tax strategists as well as a part of their financial services offerings. And so that's been a big thing that has been at the forefront of my brain for a long time. And so as we continue to do that, it comes with change. It comes with a lot of hard conversations with clients like, hey, I love you. I respect you. I appreciate you supporting my business for all these years. I'm just not going to be the one that's going to service your tax needs this tax season. But we've got 3 other guys in the office that are wonderful guys that are trying to grow their clientele, feed their families, all those things that have been trained by me, uphold the same standards as me. So this next tax season is going to be a big change because we're about to send letters out to all my existing clients that I'm going to have a limited number of spots that I'm going to take on next year, which we've been working on this letter for transparently, probably 3 months. And it's been done pretty much the whole time, but it's just in my mind, I'm like, I don't know what to do. Don't want to send it, freaked out about all the conversations we're going to have. What if they leave? We just hired another guy, so I'm trying to make sure that we have enough to feed him and his family. So there's just a lot of things that go on. Like we've talked about in a previous episode, being a business owner, every decision that you make affects not just me, but the other people that work with me and for me. So that letter's going out showing that, if you're going to work with me specifically, the fees are going to be higher, number one. And then number two, there's going to be a limited number of spots. And so what that does is it allows me to free up the time to continue to do these live events, continue to service my advising clients as that continues to grow. And then eventually 5-10 years from now, I'd love to be doing a very small percentage of the tax work that I'm doing now, just transparently. So like I said, I've been very fortunate to build the amount of tax clients that I've built, that our office is built. But as time goes on, if I want to do this when I'm 50 and 60 and be able to serve these families as they grow, hit retirement, something happens to them, their beneficiaries inherit the money, me continue to service those people as time goes on, just because I am 32. So I expect, a lot of those things to happen as time goes on. I've got to make these changes now so that it's not so painful down the road to do so. And that's one of the things that I've encouraged the guys that work with me is, hey, you're starting here, you're building. Let's not get to a point to where you've gone, quote unquote, too far. And now you have to backtrack a little bit to free up your time so that you have it for your family and what matters most. And so that's one of the lessons that I've been trying to drive into them since day one is I've kind of backed myself into this corner from a time standpoint is these people are so gracious in supporting me in my business and trusting me with their financial needs. But if I continue at the same pace, it's going to lead to burnout, which is problem after problem. So just a big transition coming forward that, to be honest, I'm nervous for. It's why I'm talking about it here. Just hold myself accountable to continue to, push the ball down the field, like for the long term, and not just try to focus on garnering every client, getting every client that I can, making sure that the people that I'm working with, I'm servicing them the best way possible. They're a great fit for me. And if they don't necessarily have to work with me, they can work with one of the other guys in our office. That's the whole key. And so that's just a big thing that's been on my mind lately, that with business comes change, comes pivots, comes, all these various things, because the marketplace is ever adapting, ever changing. And so as the leader, you have to continue to adapt to what the marketplace is calling for. And I feel like we really have a proprietary offering that we have to our investment clients that they can't just walk down the street and get at one of these bigger box firms. And there's not a lot of people in our town and in the local area that do exactly what we do. So it's kind of a specialty that I feel like we found that we have to, in my opinion, we'd be doing a disservice if we didn't continue to pursue that, because it's benefiting families, it's benefiting legacy planning, generational wealth building. There's a lot of things that come from it, not just from our firm growing, but for the people that we service, helping them walk into retirement, helping them build legacies for their family, do more in retirement, be better off down the road. So there's a lot of fulfillment that comes from that, being able to help all those families, and that's where our efforts are going to be. So down the road, going to continue to evolve and change, but also in the next 6, 12, 18 months, there's going to be a lot of work. I feel like I'm, in essence, just got a breath of fresh air, and I'm about to hit the ground running on. It's not a new venture because I'm already doing it, but almost the way that we're operating is almost new, so to speak. So like I said, we've got our great support system with Kinetic as our broker dealer, and I've been so grateful for the partnership that they've provided. And honestly, I think I'll probably do a podcast later on down the road, just talking about what support looks like from a business standpoint, what a business partnership and relationship truly looks like when it's being fed on both sides. It's a beautiful thing. And so since we've found that partnership, I just feel like, like I said, we've got offerings to give to our clients that we'd be doing a disservice if we didn't. So one of the main things that's been on my mind lately is this subject right here. And I feel like, this is a platform where I can be transparent. I can hold myself accountable to continue to do the things that I know is going to service me and my family the best, and my clients the best down the road. So just something that's on my mind, and one of the big pivots we're making. So it's at the forefront of my brain. So I feel like this was a good time to share that. So any of you guys that are already clients, once again, thank you for supporting my family, my business, all those various things. But I think that truly Biggs Financial is just getting started as to what we're going to be able to offer the public. So stay tuned and just keep rolling along the journey with us. And just wanted to share that because I want to encourage whoever it is, if you need to make a pivot, if you need to make a shift in what you're doing, how you're doing it, how you're approaching your daily life, your activities, whatever, I encourage you to do that. Change is hard. It's always been hard for me, but I just want to encourage you in that. Continue to do so, and just push the ball down the field. You got to do what's best for you, for your family, and your business if you have one, the employees that work for you, if you have those, if you're fortunate enough to have those, and the clients that you service. So never stop changing, never stop evolving. But anyways, that's all I've got for today. So once again, before I let you go, I just want to say thank you for being here. Hope you're learning something from this. Hope you're gaining something that helps you day to day. If you do me a favor, just like, share, follow, subscribe, all those various things wherever you listen to this podcast at. Once again, not monetizing anything from it, just want your support and can't thank you enough. So hope that helps you a little bit, encourages you, and we'll see you next time.